Can you record? Did you start a new recording? Should we start a new recording?
I don't know. Now I'm shy because then I'm the one speaking.
I like that you're interviewing. This is a good vibe. I like it.
Okay. Healing is the experience of returning to who you are. To heal is to return to wholeness, the quiet space within. These are three things you will notice when you return to wholeness. The first thing, how patterns reveal themselves and clear on their own.
If we see that everything that we dislike about ourselves or we feel we need to change, including symptoms, if we can see it as a lesson, it pulls away the pressure and really opens us up to seeing what am I learning from what I'm going through. You know, Brian just drew my attention to my vitiligo on my hands and it's on my legs. One of the things that I've noticed about this is it's coming down my body. It's like it's making its way out my hands. This is an actual experience. I've had this for years, and it's only in the last number of years that I've started to really track it and therefore get very clear about what is it teaching me. Well, Louise Hay says vitiligo is the sense of not fitting in. That's been a lifelong lesson of mine, a sense that I just don't fit in. I'm either a leader or I'm not in. And you wouldn't believe how many people I work with who are that same way. They just don't want to be just a person, part of, the collective. I want to lead. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's been really nice. I really feel happy that my symptom gave me this teaching. Now I can fit in to groups. I've attracted people to my life who invite me to things. My first question isn't, yeah, well, will I be presenting? No, I'm just a person enjoying being in a group of people. It's wonderful. It's had the same effect in my family, where now I'm just a member of the family. I've healed my relationships with my family members. It's really beautiful. It's just really calm and steady. It's a whole different way of being. And now my story is that my symptom has said, good, glad you got the lesson that you chose. I'm out of here. And it's leaving. And that's what I find multidimensional healing does. It opens us to see that you're the projector in your life. What is happening out there is happening because of something you're processing. Of course, it's not something if you're just starting on the journey, yeah, you don't want this in your life. Of course, it makes total sense. But over time, especially if it's a great teacher, it won't leave. The drugs won't take care of it. The surgery's not going to take care of it. It just lingers. It just stays with you because it's your teacher. It's here to give you something. And you know what? That's part of the teaching, to give yourself time to heal, to give yourself time to come back into wholeness. Because there's so many lessons. I just shared one with you. There's so many lessons that each of our symptoms gift us. The biggest one is just where we're living, that we are living in a multidimensional experience. What does that mean? That your inner child is not back there somewhere, in 1976 or whatever, gone, and you grew up. No, no. You ask any analyst, psychoanalyst, and they'll tell you, no, your child's right here. It's right with you. And she and he is going through the healing too. Remember, healing means wholeness. You just come back to wholeness. And in Eastern spirituality and philosophy, that's the whole point of a human birth, is so that you can have this experience. What if this was the whole reason? Sometimes I really think it is. It's the whole reason I took birth. is all the lessons that this symptom taught me. So healing means transformation, transformation through something to come back into a wholeness state of mind or, or collective consciousness. And it can only be experienced. I'm talking about it, but I'm not telling you it. You have to experience it. And that's what these healing, multidimensional healing sessions do, is they begin to open your awareness to the experience you are going through. And it's natural at the early stages of anything to want to change, to want to get rid of it. It's natural. But if it's not working, you might want to change your approach. That's what these are perfect for. They're perfect for people who are ready to change their approach to how they're looking at their body, to how they're looking at their dis-ease, to befriending it and saying, okay, I'm on my knees. I give up. I don't know what to do. What are you here to teach me? If this stuff is real, what are you here to teach me? Ah, that's a different question. You're going to have different experiences and you're going to start to see integration.
I like how you talked about other people too, because that's the second thing you'll notice when you return to wholeness is how other people are not fixed in the ways of approaching you and seeing you.
Yeah.
Someone not acting their way, how they step out of their way to treat you differently. So you can notice how they shifted, or rather, how you did in the relationship.
Imagine what that experience would be like for you to realize that other people are not fixed in how they're treating you. You actually experience that as an adult. That's pretty cool. That is a very, very cool experience to have. That's life changing. And it's my experience, and countless clients and students now have experienced the same thing. This works on the principle of you're the projector into this multidimensional reality that we call Earth. We are the projector. We are projecting out of our consciousness how we see things. How do we do that? Through our beliefs. If you firmly believe somebody is a certain way, you'll literally change the way you see that person. And you have to have the firm belief in that. This is not rocket science anymore. This is what our politicians are doing all the time in front of us, right? They paint other people a certain way to get you to believe that's the way that person is, just over and over and over again. I'm not saying that they're not somewhat like that, but that's not the only way they are. There are people who come across one way in one situation, and they're very different. The point is, people in our life who we've pigeonholed into being a certain way is a very contracted state of consciousness. That's that means that's how I see myself. If I see them that way, I see myself that way. And there's no reason for that because it's not true. If you change the way you look at someone, they change.
There's like a stubbornness sometimes that you want to be annoyed or bothered by that person. It's almost like you don't want
Right.
them to change.
Yeah, I mean, there's research that's done on how our emotions are addictive. Our emotional states are addictive, and everybody can see it. There are certain states that you really like. There are certain states you don't like, but you're addicted to them. Anger, grief, pity, sadness, melancholy. These are just a few that actually, if you look at this great movie, it was called What the Bleep Do We Know? Where they looked at the biochemical effects. Physicists and doctors looked at the biochemical effects of long-term states of emotional states. They literally begin to create hormones that we can become addicted to. And we go out of our way to get a fix. Um, like any addiction, it changes when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? That's straight out of AA. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, this will happen. So how do we shift out of it? I'll give you an experience. This was amazing. So I was in a support group once, and um, so it was a friend of mine. He was older than me, had more wisdom, and he was a coach. And I said, "Hey, Jeffrey, I'd like to hire you." Sure. So he asked me, "Okay, well, what do you want to talk about?" Well, I'm just in fear, man. Like a lot. I know it. I listen to the teachers in the group, and yeah, I'm in fear. I'm in fear a lot. What are you afraid of? Well, I'm the only one. I got a family of five, and I'm responsible for car payments, rent, oil, everything, and it just bears down on me. I got to get out of this. Okay. So he said, well, let's just meet. How about we, instead of meeting once a week, we meet every day for 15 minutes. I said, all right, well, what's that going to do? You'll see. So we meet on Monday and he says, well, how was the weekend? It was good. But, now I'm just worried. I'm worried that I'm gonna, how am I gonna make, at the end of the month, how am I gonna make rent? It's cold. I was in Maine. How am I gonna get heating oil? How am I gonna pay for all this stuff? Okay. So we talked for 15 minutes. He hung up the phone. Okay. How's it going? Nothing's changing, Jeffrey. I'm the same way, man. I'm terrified that I'm just not going to make a payment of any of these things. So we went on this way for about 2 weeks. Then first of the month came and went. All the payments were made. And he turned to me and he said, who took care of you yesterday, Ravindra? And I said, Jeffrey, what does that mean? What do you mean, who took care of me yesterday? I took care of me yesterday. Thank God those clients came in, that I could pay those bills. Uh-huh. Okay, well, we'll talk tomorrow. At the end of that whole week, he asked me, who took care of you yesterday? Ravindra. Who took care of you yesterday, Ravindra? Who took care of you yesterday, Ravindra? Who took care of you yesterday? And I got it. By Friday, I got it. I said, I've been saying this for 2 weeks straight. The car payment is done. The house payment is done. I've got enough oil. I even have wood for the wood stove, and we're going away this weekend. Who took care of you yesterday? I was literally addicted to a mental pattern, which created emotional changes in my body to support the adrenaline rushes I was getting and the fear that I felt in my body. And it was fixing my awareness only on the things that I feared. The first week, month, I couldn't even see the connection when he would ask. It took that long for me to get it and to see who took care of you yesterday. So I work with clients and help them see, are you here? Do you have clothes? Do you have a place to live? Okay, you're here. You're all right. I know we don't want to just stay there, but once you really get this, you've got a whole new formula. You really do see that your conscious awareness is filtering out experiences and focusing on just some experiences only. That's how it works.
And that brings me to the last thing you'll notice, which is the longer you do this, you notice how you get better at not getting distracted from the stillness. You're no longer like a feather in the wind. You're the
Right.
one watching the feather.
In order to see your life as a multidimensional experience, you have to have an experience of yourself as the witness. That right now, I'm looking at my hand. We even say it's my hand. I'm not looking at me, it's my hand. I'm looking at my computer, looking at my leg, looking at that fly. That fly is not me. Probably is, but I'm not focusing on it. So, what this does is it moves us into what the most ancient scriptures on this planet from all spiritual traditions have said and advise students to reach, which is to be the witness, to watch the multidimensional movie that's going on around you, like this damn fly.
Is it a fly?
um, it is a fly, yeah.
What does that
So
mean?
to watch it and to continually bring your awareness back to that instead of getting hooked into an emotion. We can feel emotions. It's not that. It's just when they're done, they're done. It's over. We can have thoughts, but when they're done, they're done. We don't have to keep bringing them back up again and again and again. Like we do when we have a thought about somebody, we go to a friend, we tell them, they talk back to us about that person, and we're just reinforcing ourselves in a loop that keeps us in whatever dimension of poverty we have. It's poverty consciousness. Now you have a poverty of Shakti, it's called a poverty of energy, that you're not able to appreciate all that's going on for you in your life. You can't see it. Um, so that's what it means to bring your awareness back to yourself as the witness. We call this a multidimensional movie, what we're inside of. It appears real, but so do the sets that actors use when they're moving around life. A movie set, it's not you. You're the witness. You're watching. You're looking out of your eyes. Who is that one who's looking out of your eyes? Become more interested in that. Spend a little time doing meditation. That's what happens in meditation. You reconnect with that one who's been given many names: God, Shiva, Krishna, Allah. There's many names for it. But the fact is, whatever you call it, it's the witness of your life. It's watching the movie of your life. It's watching your movie. You can change your movie in any way you'd like by moving awareness more to the witness who's watching. Then there's no reason to get involved with all these fleeting emotions. One day you're feeling something, you go to sleep at night, what happened to it? It's gone. It's gone. You don't remember it. You actually have to remind yourself of it in the morning. Wait a minute, I was so angry at somebody yesterday. What was it? Oh, that's right. And we could find somebody we're going to talk about it with. That's it. That's the habit. That's the habit we're breaking right now on this planet. It's well worth pursuing. It's the culmination of many generations of people who wanted to get to this state. And it's so available to us now. So available through these mediums, through meditation classes, yoga classes, exercise classes, therapy, whatever avenue you use, seek that out within yourself.
What I get from all of this is how it's all about awareness, being able to become the observer rather than a victim of all these things that happen to you and you just live them without
Right.
any power. If you can observe and also extract yourself from, how do you say that?
The narrative,
Yeah, when you're not aware of it, you're just in the middle, like well, like you said, like a feather being tossed around.
we call it the light of awareness. That's what Reiki is. Reiki is key is light. Ray is awareness.
Mm.
Every true spiritual and philosophical tradition is speaking to this. This is the state that we fix ourselves in, is the light of awareness. As you do that, you take your focus off of this. It's not that it's not here, but it's not your primary focus. Your awareness is on your mind, it's on what's happening initially with your thoughts. And then over time, as you get better and better at it or more open to it, you can just keep your mind, your focus on this space, this beautiful space that's now been revealed in your own mind, the space between thoughts, space between words, space between the objects in this room. That space, this space right here, is consciousness. It's conscious. It's not just filled with, oxygen and nitrogen and carbon. It's not. It's conscious. You're in a sea of consciousness. When you can connect to the light of awareness in here, and in a minute I'll talk about how to do that specifically, you can connect to the light of awareness out here. So in here, you notice that if you're driving in your car, turn your radio off. Just be in the silence. Start to notice what thoughts are going through your mind that maybe you've been trying to drown out through the radio or music. Don't. Just notice them. Be a warrior. Face your own self. If they're negative, own it. That's the first step. Just own it. Those are your thoughts. There's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to run from. They're just your thoughts. Begin to take some breaths in and out. Notice at the end of each exhalation, end of each inhalation, there's a space. That's the space inside. Lengthen that, open that up. Get more interested in that than just following the thoughts where they go. Because if you really watch yourself, you'll see that's all you're doing. You're just following them. And there's no reason to. They're not doing anything. They're not supporting us. They're not supporting us. They're just thoughts. That frees us up to begin to re-experience. Jesus said, be like little children. That's a brilliant teaching. Little children know to be more present, to not be sitting up there watching their thoughts. They don't do that. They're involved with life experiences. We come back to that through these practices. We come back to that. We come back much more consciously aware, even than many children. You start to see how your thoughts are streaming out and creating experiences in the outer world. Once you remember that, and it really is a remembrance because you know this, we all know this, but we've forgotten. We've gotten entangled in this drama that we call life. We've gotten entangled. It's fine. One of the things you could do here, but pull it back. Start to be aware of who's watching your thoughts, who's in there, looking out. Does that person really have a name? Do they have the history that you had? You believed you had? What happens when you just spend more time with that? Rumi called it the friend. It's just your best friend. Doesn't judge you. It's not criticizing you. It's not saying you should be more spiritual. What the hell that means. It's just be with your friend and watch. Your outer life will begin to change. You'll start to have more loving, wonder based experiences, and you'll continue to be able to pay the bills. You know how to do that. You don't have to worry about that. You know how to do that. It happens automatically. That's one of the things Jeffrey showed me. I'm not focusing on getting clients, etc. I don't do that. I know it's just happening. It's just unfolding all the time. And your intentions become more powerful, especially uplifting intentions. Like I'm cared for. I'm forgiven. Take that one on. I'm forgiven. You're forgiven. Watch. Watch what happens in your life. Watch how you see somebody walk by who wants this actually happens. Many of my clients, somebody who really held a grudge against you walks by. You were sure they held a grudge against you. You were sure you hurt them and they didn't forgive you. Literally within hours of doing this exercise, they show up and they're kind to you. Who changed? Are you sure it was them? Or was it you? That you changed. You stopped this narrative and you saw somebody different.
I think that's a good ending. I don't know what to
I think
say
that's a
to
great
to.
ending.
I don't know what to say to like close that up.
I
That's a
know.
good closing of that thought.
I
So
think that's a great closing. You're right.